It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. It's time for Friday's Fireside Chat. Folks, I'm excited because it's New Year's Eve. And you know, I get up this morning, I'm trying to figure out where the logs are so I can burn them in the fireplace for the Fireside Chat. And I realized, well, I didn't bring them in. You know, I bought them off the Kroger sidewalk and they were kind of wet, and I was going to bring them in and kind of dry them up, and I didn't do it, so they were still wet. And folks, they weren't catching on fire, and I was panicking. How am I going to have a Fireside Chat without, wood to burn? But then it didn't take me long to figure out what I could wrap around these logs to really create a rip-roaring fire. And you can see I have a rip-roaring fire. I mean, it is hotter than hell in here. My hair's a mess. I'm sweating. But, folks, I got to share with you. I'm going to go back in time and kind of share with you what I threw on the fire to get it burning out of control like this. But the first thing I got to do is I got to do a big shout-out to the Sharp Interactive Fireplace people. Because this Sharp Interactive Fireplace, I'm telling you something, the screen on that thing is phenomenal, and it kept the sparks, because for a while there, early on, folks, the sparks were just banging against that glass. I mean, they were trying to get out, and that fireplace screen really held it behind the glass, so I'm thankful for that. So without any further ado, let's just jump in here, and I'm going to show you the first log I put on the fire. The first log I wrapped up with the HP Amplify program. I wrapped it all around that log, and I threw it in the fire right in the middle there, and folks, it didn't take long for that thing to heat up. I mean, but I'll tell you, caution. When I was burning up the HP Amplify program, that was wrapped around the log, it just smelled like crap. That thing must be so full of crap. I mean, whatever's in that program, it does not smell good when it burns. But it does make great fuel for the fire. The next log I threw on there, I wrapped with some A3 quotas. So wrap these A3 quotas around the log and just throw it in the fire because, folks, it burns fantastic. It causes these great little orange flames, and sometimes you'll catch a blue flame in there. I mean, beautiful flames. Just tell your OEMs this: you can give us all the A3 quotas you want because we're just going to throw them in the fire. It makes great fuel. And going into 2022, we're not going to be overspeccing and overselling customers. We're going to be delivering the future. I mean, and the future is not overspeccing and overselling, so we all know that. The next log I threw on there, I wrapped up with nonsensical press releases. Folks, nonsensical press releases, we could all find a whole bunch of those. Wrap them up around a log, threw it in the fire. But I will caution you again, because when you burn up nonsensical press releases, you'll see the smoke screen. What a smoke screen. I mean, the smoke just poured out of the fire. Poured out of the fire. Again, I got to thank the people over at the Sharp Interactive Fireplace Company, because this thing kept the smoke from getting into the studio. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next log was we wrapped up with some production print fantasies. Now, the good news with this is we couldn't find a whole lot to wrap around the log. There's only like 1 or 2 consultants left in the whole entire world that are preaching that production print's going to save the industry. And so there wasn't a whole lot of stuff to wrap around there. But I will tell you, what we wrapped around there worked. It got the fire going. It got that log heated up enough so that it could burn up really good. And then the next log, well, this was very interesting. Very, very interesting what happened here. So we took all the IT deliverable delusions. Remember, I did that video yesterday about that. And anyway, we put that all around the log. We wrapped the log with that, and it started burning. It caught on fire pretty quick, but I'll tell you what happened. I mean, you can see over here, it just dripped sap. That was full of the sappiest crap I've ever seen in my life. It was just pouring out of that log. And when sap catches on fire, what does it do? It sparks, it sparks, it sparks. Again, I got to thank the Sharp Interactive Fireplace people. I didn't mean to turn this into a Sharp Interactive Fireplace commercial, but these fireplaces are phenomenal, folks. And if you're going to have fireside chats, you might as well have the best fireplace out there. But the screens on these things are just unbelievable, unbelievable screens. So the next log we wrapped up with 1990 memories and business plans. Stuff from the past, 1990, stuff that's just totally irrelevant. Now, this was really interesting. After this fire, after we wrapped the log up and the fire got kind of going, we could see inside the fire, it looked like, I mean, you can see it right here, folks. It looked like, well, let me just show you. I mean, it looked like little pictures burning. It looked like a picture of people eating dinner was on fire in there. But the beautiful blue and orange and red colors coming out of that was just phenomenal. But you got to burn up this stuff. You got to burn up all that crap from the past. It's totally irrelevant going into 2022. Here's a funny story. I'm listening to this video not too long ago, and it was an interview with some senior leader at one of the OEMs. I won't say the OEM Canon, but anyway, they were talking about how the print services sector, how the copier industry and the print industry hasn't changed for like 50 years. I'm thinking to myself, what in the hell? I had to play it back to make sure that's kind of what they said. But folks, I'm thinking they were saying that as a way to calm everybody down, that we'll be able to remain status quo for another 50 years. I mean, that was the impression I was getting. You need to take that kind of crap and throw it in the fireplace and burn the hell out of that. That's just pure nonsense. Crazy, crazy talk, crazy stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, the last log that I put on the fire, I wrapped up with the awards. Now, folks, I know, I got a lot of heat out of throwing the awards on the fire. A lot of heat came out of the fireplace. But, I was thinking to myself, I wish I would have, not refused that nonsensical award that I had won recently. And remember, I did the video and I refused it because they were commoditizing awards. I kind of wish I would have got it, because if I'd have thrown that on the fire with it, it would have made it even hotter. But then again, it is like 150 degrees in here. But, anytime I talk about awards, people kind of call me up and they'll say, well, Ray, there's folks over at BLI that give those awards out. They're just really good people. And I know they're good people. Hell, we're all good people. But the bottom line is, I kind of feel sorry for BLI because, by 2025, no one's going to give a crap about the best A3 line of the year and all these things. They're going to have all these obsolete awards. What are they going to do with them? Then I had a thought. I had a really good thought, because when I saw how well they burned anyway, they could take those awards, they could wrap them up in plastic. They could go to the grocery industry and say, hey, why don't you put these out on the sidewalk next to the wood that's wrapped up in plastic, and people can buy these, or they can buy the wood, because these awards burn really, really well. Folks, I mean, this could be a huge deal for folks over at BLI. Give them a diversification, give them a future deliverable, because, and if people are going to burn up these awards, they won't have to chop down trees to burn up the trees, so we can save the environment. A whole lot of good could come out of this. So, ladies and gentlemen, this fire today was hotter than hell. I used a lot of the old crap from the past to get it going. And I suggest you all do the same. Because going into 2022, we just got to burn up all this crazy status quo. Because everybody watching me knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo. Have a fantastic Happy New Year. See you all on Monday.